Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Nicole. So in today's video, we are gonna be giving the fireplace behind me a makeover, and we're also gonna decorate my living room. This is part 2 of the living room makeover. So if you wanna see everything that we get into, go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so we're gonna start with the DIY lime wash, and I'm gonna tell you guys the reason that I am doing a DIY lime wash and not a regular lime wash is because I cannot find the ingredients, or I don't even really know how or what lime wash really is. I don't know if it's like a powder or if it's a paint, I'm not sure. I've tried to look it up at Home Depot and things like that, but none of the Home Depots near me, and I'm talking near me as in like an hour away, none of them have lime wash. So I don't want to wait for anything like that to come in, because the other thing is I'm not really sure that I'm gonna love the results of this. So I looked on Pinterest and I looked up a DIY lime wash, and I did find one where she uses 1 part baking soda and 3 parts regular paint, and that makes her DIY lime wash. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna see how it comes out. So from what I researched, lime wash is supposed to be like a thick type paste. And y'all, if I'm doing this completely wrong, don't judge me. This is just the way that I'm gonna do it. It doesn't mean that it's the right way or that I'm telling everyone to do it this way. Definitely not. I'm just sharing my experience and what I'm gonna try to do. So I'm gonna do the DIY that I saw on Pinterest. Like I said, it is 3 parts paint, 1 part baking soda. I'm gonna mix that together, see how it comes out. And honestly, the way that I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna do it more like if it was a dry brush technique. I know when you lime wash, you paint the entire thing and then you wait for it to dry, and then you go back and you kind of distress it. But I'm not wanting to do all of that kind of work. So I'm thinking that I'm just gonna use like a dry brush effect, but I'm gonna be using a sponge. So I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but let's try it and see what happens. All right, y'all, well, I'm not gonna lie, I am super nervous to see how this is gonna go. I hope that I'm not making a huge mistake. For all I know, this could be my favorite DIY yet. So let's just try it. I do have a sponge right here. This is what I'm gonna use to apply the paint. And then I do have a couple of wet rags. That way, if I get too much paint in one area, I can hopefully just wipe it off before it dries. My plan is to just go really, really light to begin with, and hopefully that will look good. So soon after I did a really light coat, I stepped back and I realized that you could still see a lot of the red, and I did not want any of the red showing through. So I decided to go back in with a way thicker coat and just see how I would like that better. All right, y'all, so the DIY lime wash is done on the fireplace. I'm glad that we got rid of the red tone that was in the stone, but now looking at the rest of the living room, our couch is tan and I have a brown ottoman, and we have a rug that has some warm tones in it, and it's really not working out with the fireplace now. It's looking like a huge stark contrast between the couch and the warm tones that we have over here, and then the bright white fireplace back here. The paint that I'm using is not really a bright white, but I'm thinking because we added it to the top of the stone that was already gray, maybe it made it look like a cool tone or more of a stark white. And it's not really translating on camera. I feel like when I look at it on camera, it's looking like a warm white, but in person, it for some reason does not look like a warm white. So I'm wanting to bring some warmth into the fireplace to tie in our living room and then even our dining room and really the rest of the house, because I love having warm tones throughout our house. Definitely need to make the fireplace look warmer than it looks right now. So the way that I'm planning on doing that is using some tan paint that I just have left over from a project that I've done in the past. Y'all, I'm back after painting the fireplace with the brown, and this is all a learning type of a thing for me. I've never done this type of stuff before, so bear with me when I say that now that it's brown, I'm gonna go back over it with white again. I'm gonna go really light with it this time. That way the brown still shines through. I still think that it was the right idea to do the DIY lime wash over the whole thing and then to paint it brown, because I would rather have a brown color come through than a gray tone like the stone was before, or red like the stone was before. So I still think that this was the right idea and that we're on the right track. It's just taking a couple more steps than I was expecting to get the desired look. Bad news, I am not liking how it's turning out. So we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. I think that I'm gonna go to Walmart and pick up some paint samples and see if I can get a lighter tan color, like a really light tan color for the stone. Maybe it was not a good idea to use the leftover paint that I've had from other projects. I always like to try to use that paint so that I don't have to keep buying more paint and just having more paint to store, but it's just not cutting it. Like, it's not looking right. I'm gonna go to Walmart and get some paint chips and figure out what color we're gonna do. A couple of days have passed and I've had some time to regroup and think about exactly how I want this fireplace to look and to analyze colors and to have hubby's opinion on all of it. And I have chosen a new color that I picked up at Walmart, and we're gonna try that color now on the fireplace. I'm hoping that this is it and that this will work out and we'll be done with the fireplace. Well, after several trials and several coats of paint, we have come to a beautiful fireplace that I am so happy with. So it did take me a trip to Walmart to go find a new paint color, and we did mix the color of the entertainment center, which is a color called Roller Coaster from Walmart, with some white paint to give it a little bit more of a lighter look than the entertainment center. We used that paint color as the grout for the fireplace, and y'all, I absolutely love how it ended up turning out. I'm so happy with the fireplace. I love that it is a more neutral tone, that we don't have any reds in it anymore. So happy with how it turned out. Now we can get to the fun part of decorating our mantle and decorating our entertainment center and adding our beautiful pillow covers that we made in the last video onto the couch. I am so ready to get the living room looking all fall and cozy. So the words that I'm going for this fall living room are going to be warm, moody, dark, mysterious, but of course cozy still. And we're gonna bring in some country flair because I do wanna use natural elements that we're gonna find outside. So this is gonna be a little bit different than our dining area. So the dining area for fall, we decided to go with the Harvest Abundance theme. So that was more of a lighter wood tone and reds type of a theme. In here, we're gonna use darker tones of wood. We're gonna use golds, burnt oranges, greens, and black. So I do already have one element on top of our fireplace, and that is this beautiful screen that I actually found outside. We did have a shed outside on this property when we purchased it, and there was so much stuff behind this shed, y'all, and so many weeds just growing through there. But my mom and I were able to go back there and just start picking things up, and we made some piles outside that we're calling our little scrap piles out there. There's so many treasures that I'm sure we'll be able to use throughout our different renovations here on the property. And I did really love these screens when we found them, so I was so excited to bring one inside and hang it up on top of our mantle. That is the base layer, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be adding in some branches that I just picked up from outside just to add some more texture. So as y'all can tell, there are two plates above the fireplace. There's an outlet, and then there's one that's probably for cable or something like that, that I definitely want to cover. So the first thing that I'm going to be adding to cover those up is going to be this beautiful painting right here. So this is actually a placemat that I picked up at Savers. I picked up several of these placemats because they all had different beautiful birds painted on them, and these are super awesome, y'all. They are a vintage replica, and I'm using the pheasant in our fall decorating because I really love the colors of the pheasant, but I do have several other ones, so we'll be able to change them out for the different seasons or use them for different decorating. And next to the pheasant painting, I'm going to be adding a basket again to cover up the other plate. And of course, you can still see the outlet through the basket. So to the basket, I'm gonna be adding a beautiful fall wreath. This came from Hobby Lobby. And with all of that, I feel like it just adds the perfect amount of texture in front of our screen, and it also covers up the 2 plates that we don't wanna see. So I'm really loving how everything is starting to look. Now to the 2 sides, I'm gonna be adding some beautiful iron candle holders. These came from Hobby Lobby and I love decorating with them. They're so large and substantial and they make such a beautiful difference to anything that you're decorating. And now the finishing touches to our fireplace mantle are gonna be this beautiful gold pheasant that I actually picked up at Savers. I know it's from Hobby Lobby, but I found it at Savers for a fraction of the price. It did unfortunately suffer a little accident, but I think that it's gonna be fine to use for this season. It probably won't make it into next fall, but we're gonna use it as is this season. I'm also gonna be adding this beautiful vintage oil lamp just to add some more dimension and also to bring out the gold throughout the mantle. And then lastly, I'm gonna be adding this super cute little acorn that was also from Hobby Lobby just to add some more texture and to fill in a little bit more space. So now that we're done with the mantle, we're gonna move on to decorating the entertainment center. So the first thing that I'm gonna start with is gonna be this beautiful dough bowl. And to that dough bowl, I'm gonna be adding this rustic looking swag. I picked this swag up at Savers. And honestly, I wish that I could have found a garland or that I could find a garland or something like that that would match this swag because it is so beautiful. So on one side of the entertainment center, I do have my Scentsy, which is perfect to bring in some of that cozy ambient lighting for the fall time. I'm just gonna raise it up on some vintage books. And then on the other side, I'm gonna be adding a couple more vintage books and then this beautiful pheasant that I picked up at Savers over this past weekend. I'm so happy that I found this because I already was thinking that I was gonna be using our pheasant painting that we used on the mantle. So now we have another pheasant here on the entertainment center to bring it all together. And lastly, on our entertainment center, I'm gonna be adding these whimsical pumpkins that came from Hobby Lobby. They're so cute and they have that burnt orange color that is also in different elements on the mantle to tie it all together. And then next to those pumpkins, I'll be adding a couple more of those little acorns that also came from Hobby Lobby. So now we're down here at the fireplace hearth and I just want to do a little bit of decorating down here because I did find this crock. Y'all, I've been looking for a large crock for a super long time and I happened to find this one at a little local thrift shop and I was able to get it for an absolute steal. They actually sold it to me for $22, which is like unheard of. I've been even looking for one of these on eBay and $22 for a crock this size is just like, you will not find that anywhere else. So I was so excited to find it and I really wanted to incorporate it into our fall decorating. So I have it here on the side of our hearth and we're just gonna add some stuff to it and see if we can get it to go with all of the rest of our decor. So the first thing I'm gonna be adding is gonna be a cream color, really textured blanket. So I really love how it has these tassels right here and I really want them to show just to add a little bit more interest to our crock right here. And now to that, I'm gonna be adding a paper mache pumpkin that I picked up at Hobby Lobby a while ago. So just like that, I'm liking how it's looking. So now to that, I wanna add some stems right to the side over here, I'm thinking, just to give it some height. I do like this one right here because I do like the color of the leaves and then I like that it has some red because obviously we have some red and some burnt orange going on in the rest of our decor. So I'm definitely gonna be using this one. I'm gonna be adding some of these cute ones with the white berries on it and we're just gonna kind of mix it in. I wanna see if I can kind of get them to drape a little bit. Let's add it to our crock. Super cute. I really like how that looks. Let's see if we should add some of these little berries right here, just for a little more interest. One more just to the side over here. This one I'm going to kind of bend so that it comes out. Actually, I want to make it shorter, so there. Perfect. I really like that. That's pretty cute. So now for this corner over here, I already have our blanket ladder here. I'm not sure that I'm actually going to add blankets to it. We'll see once we get into adding the pillows to the couch. But for right now, I do want to see how this faux fig tree will look. I absolutely love this faux fig tree that I picked up at Savers. So now it's time to add our pillow covers that we made in the last video onto some pillows, and then add those pillows onto our couch. So now the last finishing touch that I want to add to this area is just going to be a little tray so that we can set our drinks. But of course, we'll add a little bit of decor to it by adding these beautiful brass swans. And then also adding a cute little potted plant. All right, y'all, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed coming along with me to do a budget makeover here in our living room. In the future, we will be giving this room and all the rooms in our house an extreme makeover, which will include new flooring. That's just not in the plans right now, but in the future, we will be doing that. So make sure to subscribe so that in the future, you can watch when we start to renovate the entire house. But as for right now, I'm really happy with how the living room is turning out. So in the next video, I will be taking you all outside so that we can get started on our fall front porch makeover. And that should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.